Hello, Commanders fans. Today we have some hot news that you can't miss, so get ready because there's a lot of important information coming your way. Before we begin, we'd like to take this opportunity to subscribe to the channel, activate the notification bell, and stay up to date on all the news about our Washington Commanders. Don't forget to leave a like, which greatly strengthens our community and helps bring this content to the most passionate fans of the team. Now, without further ado, let's get straight to today's news.
8 high-impact free agents the Commanders could sign, snatching them from NFC East rivals. All options are on the table. General Manager Adam Peters has a lot of work ahead of him in the coming weeks. The free agent period is fast approaching, and the Washington Commanders have numerous needs to meet and plenty of money to spend. That doesn't always guarantee success, but it's not a bad starting point. The Commanders can't afford to sit idly by. Peters needs to be aggressive in his pursuit of bolstering the roster and improving starting positions in key groups. And there may be some options nearby that deserve consideration should they hit the free agent market. With that in mind, here are 8 high-impact free agents in the NFC East who could be targets for the Commanders. High-impact free agents. Commanders can stand out and leave their NFC East rivals behind.
The Washington Commanders may be about to tackle an old problem with a new mindset this offseason: the kicker position. In recent years, the team has struggled with instability, frequent trades, and a lack of confidence in crucial moments. And when it comes to close NFL games, a kick can mean the difference between victory and defeat, or even between making the playoffs and watching from home. It is precisely in this context that an interesting name emerges on the radar: Brandon Aubrey, currently with the Dallas Cowboys. A rare and expensive talent. Aubrey possesses one of the most powerful legs in the league. His ability to convert long-distance field goals has completely changed Dallas's offensive strategy in recent seasons. In 2025, he returned to posting solid numbers, maintaining a high success rate, and showing composure in crucial moments, although he has had some occasional episodes of inconsistency under pressure. The problem? Money. Reports indicate that Aubrey is seeking a contract in the region of $10 million per season. For a kicker, this represents an extremely high investment, even considering his quality. It's no surprise that the Cowboys are hesitating and prolonging negotiations. Does it make sense for Washington? Under General Manager Adam Peters, Washington has adopted a more strategic approach to roster building, avoiding inflated contracts and prioritizing salary balance. Investing this amount in a special teams player may not align with this philosophy, especially when there are still gaps in more impactful positions. At the same time, stability has value. The Commanders have suffered in recent games due to missed crucial kicks. The lack of consistency at the position has cost them important points throughout the seasons. Having a reliable kicker with above-average range can completely change the offensive dynamic, allowing for more aggressive decisions in the middle of the field and reducing the need for risky fourth-down conversions. Is it worth the call? Even if Washington isn't willing to pay the initial asking price for Aubrey, if he does test the free agent market, it doesn't hurt to make a call and understand the situation.
If the Washington Commanders truly want to strengthen their secondary for 2026, one name gaining traction behind the scenes is that of young cornerback Cor'Gale Flott. Clear need at the position. Washington enters the next season with clear questions at the cornerback position. Trey Amos and Mike Sainristil are expected to assume important roles in the defensive system, but beyond them, there are few guarantees on the roster. And there's also the delicate situation of Marshon Lattimore. The veteran, a 4-time Pro Bowl selection, could become a victim of the salary cap. His contract weighs heavily on the franchise's finances, and a possible release would open up significant space, both on the roster and in the cap, forcing management to act quickly in the market. Fitting into Durante Jones' scheme.
The new defensive coordinator, Durante Jones, arrives with the promise of implementing an aggressive scheme based on constant pressure and versatility on the defensive line. For this to work, it's essential to have cornerbacks capable of holding their own against man-to-man coverage and surviving one-on-one situations while the pass rush attempts to force errors from the opposing quarterback. It is precisely at this point that Flott can become a strategic asset. Technical evolution and growth potential. At 24 years old, Flott is still on a steep development curve. The former LSU Tigers football star showed considerable progress last season, especially in deep coverage and the ability to mirror faster receivers. In 2025, he allowed only 52.2% of passes thrown his way, a very solid number for a rising cornerback, in addition to registering a 73.3 rating when targeted. These numbers indicate efficiency and consistency in coverage, even if the volume of turnovers is not yet high. His main area for improvement remains run defense. He needs to improve his tackling and perimeter blocking. However, considering his age and the progress he has shown recently, there is clear room for growth under proper guidance. Significant changes may be on the way for the Washington Commanders linebacker group this offseason, and management knows this is one of the most sensitive areas of the roster for 2026. Bobby Wagner's name remains at the center of discussions. The veteran wants to continue playing and is heading towards what could be his 15th season in the NFL, a trajectory that will most likely lead him to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Wagner's leadership, game reading, and experience have been fundamental in the last 2 years in Washington. However, there are still no guarantees that he will remain with the team, and the defender's future continues to be the subject of intense behind-the-scenes debate. Even if Wagner returns, the unit needs renewal and more explosiveness. Frankie Louvu should maintain a prominent role after showing versatility and intensity, while Jordan McGee emerges as a rotation piece with growth potential. Still, the roster lacks a more athletic linebacker with lateral reach and the ability to cover the passing game, especially in a league increasingly geared towards fast and dynamic offenses. It is precisely in this scenario that Nakobe Dean's name emerges as a potentially interesting target for the Commanders. Despite having faced physical problems during part of his professional career, Dean is still seen as a player with a high development ceiling. Young, explosive, and with good gap-reading skills, he can offer what Washington has been looking for: speed and aggressiveness on the second defensive line. Selected in the third round of the 2022 draft, Dean finally showed his full potential by playing a full season in 2024 for the Philadelphia Eagles. In the campaign that ended with the Super Bowl LIX victory, the linebacker accumulated 130 tackles and 3 sacks, numbers that highlight his production capacity when healthy and integrated into a well-structured defensive system. Naturally, any negotiation would depend on rigorous medical evaluations and a financially viable contract. However, if conditions are favorable, Dean's arrival could represent an immediate injection of energy and dynamism into the Commanders' defense.
The Washington Commanders may be preparing to take a bold step in the next free agency, and one name is gaining traction behind the scenes: Wan'Dale Robinson. More weapons for Jayden Daniels are a priority. After the arrival of quarterback Jayden Daniels, the front office's mission is clear: surround the young talent with as many weapons as possible. Daniels has shown potential, mobility, and the ability to create off-script plays, but no quarterback evolves alone in the NFL. He needs explosive receivers, capable of separating from the coverage and turning short passes into big gains. The new offensive coordinator, David Blau, has already made it clear that he intends to structure the passing game around Terry McLaurin, and that makes perfect sense. McLaurin is consistent, disciplined on his routes, and a leader on and off the field. But let's be realistic. In today's NFL, a single elite wide receiver cannot sustain an entire offense. Defenses adjust, double team, and force the quarterback to look for other options. That's where the need for a second dynamic target comes in. Why does Wan'Dale Robinson make so much sense?
Robinson is coming off an impressive season with the New York Giants in 2025. He had 92 receptions, 1,011 yards, and 4 touchdowns, numbers that demonstrate not only volume, but consistency. He established himself as a versatile weapon, capable of lining up in the slot, playing in motion, and contributing to plays designed to exploit his agility. The former University of Kentucky star is known for his explosiveness in tight spaces, quick changes of direction, and ability to gain yards after the catch. Characteristics that perfectly match a modern and creative scheme, exactly the type of system Blau intends to implement in Washington. Contractual scenario and possible departure of Deebo Samuel. If he decides to seek a new opportunity on the market, the Commanders cannot simply replace production with production. They need to evolve the level of the group.